He had extreme shoulder pain pressing this light weight overhead that literally 20 doctors and 4 physical therapists couldn't fix. But after seeing me, he's now pressing even heavier weight and setting new personal records 100% pain-free. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Aaron Horschig, a doctor of physical therapy and strength and conditioning coach. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I fixed Matthew's shoulder pain step by step so you can understand what actually works to help your shoulder pain. To start off his evaluation, I had him take off his shirt so I could see his shoulder blades. Understanding how the shoulder blades are positioned and how they move is a key aspect to evaluating anyone with pain when pressing overhead, because often you can see the root cause of the problem. And if you watch closely, you'll notice his left shoulder blade rotates upwards much faster on his painful side compared to his non-painful side. This is common for a lot of people who have instability in their shoulder. The scapula will move faster in upward motion in an attempt to keep the shoulder blade under the humerus bone. You see, the shoulder complex is an engineering marvel and operates with force couples, where opposing muscles work together in harmony to stabilize the joint and or create movement. For example, as you raise your arm, the deltoid generates an upward and outward force on the humerus arm bone, and your rotator cuff muscles counter this motion by generating a downward and inward force. Collectively, they work together to keep the shoulder joint securely in its socket. If the rotator cuff isn't working optimally, it can lead to an excessive upward motion on the humerus and increased risk of injury. During my testing, I looked at his external rotation stability with his arms out to the side at 90 degrees, a position similar to where he would get pain during pressing. His right side was very strong, but the second I started pushing on his left arm, it instantly dropped because of pain. This was a sign his posterior rotator cuff wasn't working in balance with the rest of the shoulder muscles, allowing the joint to move too much and generating pain. Now, if you've watched a lot of my shoulder rehabilitation videos in the past, you've probably seen me share exercises like the banded 90-degree external rotation drill. This is an excellent way to build stability for those who have pressing problems overhead. My cues are to pull the elbow back to about 80 degrees of full retraction, then keep the elbow from dropping as you rotate your shoulder back into external rotation and hold for a few seconds. And while that's a great exercise, it wasn't a great one yet for Matt and actually created a little bit of shoulder discomfort. But that's okay. Every exercise is also a test. Once we identify a person's weak link, we can then progress or regress an exercise in order to find the stimulus that that person needs. So I had him lie flat on his stomach and position his arms at 90 degrees. Lifting his hands was moving his shoulders into external rotation, similar to that banded exercise, but this time just fighting against gravity. He held for 3 to 5 seconds and performed 10 reps in a row. The great thing, this exercise was now pain-free and he was feeling it in the back of his shoulder where he wanted it. I then gave him a light kettlebell, had him hold it upside down in a front rack position, and then move out to the side into his position of instability. Then, after holding it for a few seconds, he came back to the front and moved back and forth a few times. The great thing about using an upside down kettlebell is it enhances the demand on shoulder stability, so his rotator cuff muscles had to work a little bit harder in order to perform the motion. This is a much better option than using a dumbbell because of the instability the upside down kettlebell creates. Later that day, after performing those 2 exercises, we then got back to that same 95 pounds that he did at the very start of our evaluation. And this time, it was 100% pain-free. Showing those exercises created the stimulus for the adaptation for his shoulder to now have the stability to press overhead pain-free. The progression for his exercises at home were to first start using a little bit more weight on the external rotation drills lying on the stomach, and then eventually getting back to the banded external rotation drill. For the kettlebell upside down drill, he could not only move out to side and back with a heavier weight, but could also eventually add a press with that weight as well. And he sent me this video 2 months later, now pressing 190 pounds for a new personal record, 100% pain-free. If you want more tips on fixing injuries, make sure to check out my book, Rebuilding Milo. It will walk you through the exact steps I take to help some of the best athletes in the world fix their injuries. Head on over to Amazon.com or your local bookstore and pick up your copy today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's patient case video. Drop a comment and let me know how you liked it, or if there's any other injuries you'd like for me to talk about in the future. Thanks for watching, guys.